So yesterday I worked on this thing and I didn't do a video of it. It's like in the mid-30s and windy. It's sunny out, but it's kind of no fun really to work on these. Kind of frustrating because springtime will just not come. But this one I ripped apart. Didn't seem to have a spark. I took off the coil and I put it back on and cleaned it up, and the thing started up. But then I had a problem with the carb. So it was a basic carb cleaning, but I kind of want to do a video of it because it's on a plastic carburetor that I've never cleaned before. They're just junk. But this thing actually runs really good. I cleaned the air filter. Just about dry, I guess. I'm just going to stick that and see if it will start today. The only other thing I really want to do to it is maybe sharpen the blade, and then I'm ready to sell it. Now I got this one. I picked this one up with all those snow blowers and stuff. And it has a lot of problems, it seems like. I mean, first thing, look at that handle. It comes out like below your crotch. I don't think it should be like that. It's really hard to pull. I'm wondering if there's like a compression release problem or a stuck valve or something. But I got a feeling we're really going to have to dig into this one. Is it worth it? I don't know. Why not? Okay, the camouflage is off of it. And I got some oil down in the safety release here. And it does doing its job. I can't really see the brake because it's really hard to turn over. And I'm guessing I'm going to look at the valves next, so I'm going to pull the valve cover off here. Well, the valve seemed to work. Hard to pull it through. The plug is out, but it still seems really hard. Harder than it should be. And I'm not seeing any spark. Yeesh. Okay. Okay, I got a plug to go. Unfortunately, it was a shorter reach plug. It was a Champion. Here, you can see the reach difference. Tried another plug, it didn't work. I'll tell you, in all my years, I've only had like 3 bad plugs. I'm 62. And today I found 2. But this one has a little shorter reach than the other one that was in the machine, but better a shorter reach than a longer reach because it won't hit the piston. But let's see if we can get it to pop or start. Wow. Surprising. I want more. Let's put some gas in the tank. Okay, put the valve cover back on, and I've noticed already the bowl is leaking. Of course. What do you expect? Okay. And considering this plug doesn't even reach all the way, it's amazing it started. Well, not amazing, but let's see what we got. Sitting on a glove. Well, it ran till I shut it down. Gas line's leaking. It could be why I saw the leak at the carburetor. I'm not sure. I was going to run it out of gas, but I got impatient. See? Oh yeah, that's just peeing like crazy. I'm going to put the shrouding back on and take a look at the front wheel drive. See what's up. So I got this thing all propped up like this to get the cable at an angle. I'm going to get some oil down in there. These cables are friggin' expensive, so maybe it'll free up. Just by gravity, eventually get down there. A squirt at a time. Squirting another. Where are we? A little shot of power blaster. In the meantime, decided I might as well sharpen up this blade. This one came off, loosened up without much fanfare. A good idea, I think it was 5/8, wasn't it? Yeah, 5/8. Good idea when you do these. This is a little weird thing to center of the blade, but it like put an X or something on the bottom side of the blade so you remember which side is down. Although you might not, but I think it's a good idea. So we're going to sharpen this up. So I got it inside in the vise. I'm going to get out my grinder, grind along this edge, pretty much at the angle that it's at. I guess it's about a 45. It actually feels kind of sharp, but it's kind of nicked and stuff like that, so probably won't take a lot of work. And do both sides, this edge and this edge, and then we'll balance it out. Stick it in here in the centerpiece, and that's pretty well balanced. I'm going to screw around with it. Sometimes if it dips to this side, then you want to take a little off this side, and vice versa. And you just do it till you get it right. I'm going to take a file and just clean it up like a tiny bit, get rid of the rust, and we'll put it back on. That should be good to go. I need to put just a little lube on the bolt from rusting in there. Okay, we got it tight. Gotta get those things on right. Don't know. I'm gonna check that. That looks a little crooked. But if you notice the X is down, I'm gonna loosen that up and check it again. Okay, that's better. Not that I thought it was bad. I think it was fine the way it was. Another thing I might note, I took the spark plug wire off to do this. Highly recommended. Well, today we're making cables. This is my regular lawnmower. I made a cable for it. I had some cables. A whole box full. Hang on a sec. And you can see where it matches up there with the throttle. I cut it down so it'll work up top here with a cable stop. Just putting it through the handle. Seems to work rather well. So after all that screwing around with the cable, I realized that there was other problems with this front drive. Inside the wheel here, there's a gear. Let me get it. There's a gear that looks like this, rides here. This is actually the axle that goes into the gearbox there, and it spins around. Now there's also a little dog, I don't know what the hell you'd call this thing, but it sits in a cup in here and engages, and the one on the other side was bent beyond recognition, and there's it's spring loaded too. And the spring was also wiped out, so I'm not going to get those parts. I'm just going to make it so it's a push mower. You see this side? The backing plate. I don't even see the spring. I think I might have pulled it out. But anyway, just put a little bit of lube on these axles and get rid of that belt and use it as a push mower, I guess. I also have a problem back here. The frame is bent here, so I pulled the wheel off. And you can kind of see what's going on there. At least I think you can. I'm just going to bend it out a tad with the crescent wrench. Cleaned a little bit of rust off this axle, but I'm going to clean a lot more off. But this is the reason the wheels always go kind of wonky. You know, you get a lot of left to right play on them because it rusts on the axle, and then the axle works like sandpaper on the wheels and makes them all goofy. And I hit this thing with a hammer a few times, and I really have not bent it very far back as I would have liked to. Not quite sure what to do. This is about the dullest blade in the world on, but there's still enough there to sharpen. And at the same time, if I take this off to sharpen, I can get the belt off by pulling this thing off. I hope. Blade off. Mark the bottom of it with an X. Scratch it in with a screwdriver. We'll go on and sharpen it. And have a look at this thing. Oh, brother. Gotta get this out. Okay, we pulled the belt through. Now you can just pull it off. I'll keep it for what it's worth. Put this back in. A little tab there. Hang on. Okay, that tab, a little tab there, tab there, and that's in. Okay, blade's back on. It's dull as hell. And the last thing I'm going to do is get a new gas line on here. So I'm going to leave it up on its side and see if I got a piece. Seems like you go out and you buy 5 feet of it, and the next time you turn around, there's none left. As Road King would say, ay, ay, ay. That's awful. Yeah, we got the gas line in. That should do it. Now we'll see if the carburetor's leaking, or if it was just the gas line leaking down to the carb and then down to the bottom. So let's find out. Well, got lucky on this one. Looks like the float is okay. Gas line's okay. Started up on the 3rd pull. Be a cheapie for sale, I guess. The only thing I still don't like is that handle is so low. You know, there's no way to set it up higher, as far as I can tell. I see why now. You can see that it's split right along there. This piece right here should be leaning more forward. Yeesh. That's pretty bad. I mean, I think it'll hold up, but it, Okay, they're coming off. It's like 4 bolts. And a spring up here, and the handle comes off. Tough part's going to be bending it back. It came off easy enough. I got a vise outside. I put it in the vise and I gave it 1 pound. But it's like the end of the day, people are coming home from work, it's beautiful outside. It's cold, but still it's tranquil. I didn't want to start pounding, so I might wait till tomorrow when they all go to work. But you can kind of see, you know, this is pretty rigid stuff too. It's not easy to bend. So that's good in one way, that if I get to be able to bend it back, it'll probably just stay there, you know. You won't really, it'd be nice to weld that, but I don't really think you have to. I think it'll hold up. So, they're definitely tweaked. I wonder what happened, like if someone ran over it or something. It'll help. That handle is just, it's way too low. Okay. So we're back to seeing if we can straighten these out. I gave it some thought, and I have this nice big stick. What it is it's a piece of old lobster trap that washed up on the beach. And I made it so that it kind of fits in here. And I'm thinking it'll give me enough leverage to bend this thing back without breaking. I didn't have a piece of metal. So, and the wood will probably do it. I've got to clamp it up in the vise and see what happens. Well, that looks pretty good. That's one compared to the other. You can see the angle difference. It's quite a bit. I still got to bend it a little bit that way, you know, the top like a little more vertical. And we'll do the same with this one. This one I'll try to get on video. It's tough in my workspace to set up a camera because there's crap everywhere. Okay. Let's see if I can hold this with one hand. And bend it. Not too bad. Gotta bend it a little more. I gotta tighten up that bolt. Okay, about as good as I'm gonna get them without them springing back. That's raised up. It's more of a 90-degree now on both of them. We'll have to put them on and see. Hopefully that does it. It'd be really nice to hit them with a welder, but I don't have one and I'm not gonna pay to do it, so be it. Okay, they're ready to be installed. We got another about 38-degree day and it's about to rain. Just surprised it's not windy too, like it has been for the last 6 months. Okay, let's go. There's one side. I always hit my nuts and bolts with a little bit of oil before I put them back in. The axle. And wipe it down with an oily rag, the area that I'm going to put on. That's a good fit. Okay, that looks better. Well, winter's finally over, and I got another Craigslist freebie. This guy runs and works. Starts right up in the first pull, as a matter of fact. It's a nice 5-horse electric start. Haven't tried that yet. Starts in the first pull. But what is that garbage? I'll show you what that garbage is. It is really rusted out. So, you know, I'm not quite sure if, I always thought about getting a welder. It could be fixed. Or if I should just keep some parts parted out or whatever. I don't know. What do you think? Nice lightweight unit. Not quite sure what this stuff is, but it's like tape. Yeah, that'll fix it. Sure. Okay, that's the extent of the tape. Put like a piece of gutter or something to wrap around the bottom. Now we can look at the extent of the damage. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You know, my old 60s Aaronses still have no rust through it all. It's cheap crap everybody loves. I don't know. That was just holding water in and making the thing worse. Probably nobody on earth would want to fix this. But if I had a welder, there's a big swap meet coming up, and sometimes you see like welders like really cheap. And maybe I'll get one and learn how to weld on this. Don't know. So I was just going to put it away, but I got kind of curious. Ran it a little bit. It was noisy. I couldn't tell if it's inside the engine or in these crappy looking pulleys. The oil was very low, so I said I might as well change it. It's probably a waste of oil. but it wasn't a lot. It was probably just about as much as adding. So I'm going to start it up again, and I got a little lube on these pulleys here. This one looks like it's made out of a coffee can or something. What junk. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, I think it's probably the pulleys and stuff making the racket. I think I'm just going to drain the gas out of it and put it away until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. I think that front auger housing is just beyond repair. But the pressure, everything works, so.